The Russians have wanted to do peace talks from the beginning, and we've rebuffed them.
Right.
I will settle this on day one. I will stop the killing on day one. I'll stop the killing, and the settlement is obvious, right? The Russians have wanted to settle this from the beginning, and they've been very clear about what they want. They want NATO to make a pledge to not come into the Ukraine, which we should have done. We shouldn't have put NATO into 14 countries. We told the Russians when they dismantled the Soviet Union in 1991, and they moved 400,000 troops out of East Germany, and they allowed NATO to reunify Germany under NATO. And they said our condition for doing that, this tremendous conciliation that we're making, is that you never move NATO to the east. And George Bush told them, we will not move NATO 1 inch to the east. And in 1997, Zbigniew Brzezinski laid out the plan, which has then happened, where we moved it not 1 inch, but 1,000 miles to the east, 14 nations. And then we put Aegis missile systems in Poland and Romania, which are nuclear capable. So they're a few minutes from Russia. They can decapitate the entire Russian leadership before, if we wanted to start a preemptive war. And that is inexcusable. I mean, then we overthrew the democratically elected government, Viktor Yanukovych, in 2014. We spent $5 billion, the CIA through USAID and the National Endowment for Democracy, spent $5 billion to violently overthrow that government, and which was democratically elected. So we destroyed this democracy and put in our own government, which we now know the neocons in the White House, Victoria Nuland, selected 2 months before in a telephone. So we handpicked the new government before the coup. We put a new government in that immediately makes a civil war against the Russian population of Donbass, bans the Russian language, kills 14,000 of them, and then starts training with NATO. And there were a lot of provocations.